Hey, shalom y'all, it's Fletch. Welcome back to OTH. What you are looking at right now is my guide gear ATV basket. I think I've seen guide gear products in places other than Amazon, but I did happen to get this on Amazon, purchased with my own money. This is not T&E equipment. This is a front ATV basket, not to be confused with the rear ATV basket that Guide Gear also makes. This particular product runs about $60, free shipping with Prime if you have Prime, and obviously it's meant to go on the front of ATV. I'll roll in a picture from a recent video that I did that shows, all the different stuff you can have in here, especially for those of you that might be living a homesteading type of lifestyle out in the country. 20-inch bar, chainsaw fits in there fine, loppers, gas cans, water bottles, canteens, all kinds of stuff. And, so it's fairly good sized. And you can see, it takes up pretty much the whole front of the quad. And that stands about 5 inches tall. It basically, it takes up almost exactly what the size of the plastic shelf or rack that comes stock on a Polaris. This particular Polaris right here happens to be a 2000 500, Sportsman 500. I can't tell you if it's going to fit yours or if the rest of it's going to line up as easily as mine did, so please don't ask because I don't know. But I can tell you if you have, this span that I have, it fits on there really well. So here's what I'm talking about when I say it fits on really well. Underneath here, right here, first of all, this plate right here that goes slow and make anyone dizzy, but this plate goes all the way across, and there's these holes in here. And these holes will mount up perfectly with holes that are already pre-drilled into your rack, and so you don't have to drill anything into it. And let me slowly transition here to underneath so I don't make anyone sick and dizzy. But if you look up underneath there, you can see the bolt comes out of there. So we can get it to adjust by putting my hand here. Comes through right there. And so, you don't have to do anything real special there. And I just used two of the bolts that came with it. So there's one there, and then there's one here. The basket seems to be, made pretty solid. This diamond pattern kind of netting look. I don't know what you call that, but it seems to be, pretty sturdy, pretty solid. It's reinforced underneath here and here as well, so it's not just this stuff holding up the weight of whatever you have in the basket. How I fasten this on the back, and I'm just going to tell you now that some of you are like, oh dude, that's so hokey, but serious. This is a zip tie, and that is a zip tie. And let me tell you the reason why I chose a zip tie, because there really wasn't another way, underneath here anywhere other than going through the frame, which I didn't really want to do because that'll weaken it. Not really big enough without cutting it or altering it. One thought that I had, and I think something else that would probably work fairly well, is if you got a stainless steel radiator clamp, and you could just run that through in a couple of places like here on the edge, and that would work fine as well. But I already had these heavy-duty outdoor rated zip ties, and before someone makes a comment, oh dude, that's stupid, that's gonna break and you're gonna lose all your stuff, no, I'm not. When we lived back in Montana, I actually had some spiral ground anchors for our trampoline for the kids, and I had two of these connecting the trampoline to the anchor, and they were there for 6 years. When I left, I still had, I just cut them to get the trampoline off because it was just a rental that we were living in, and they were still solid, after 6 years of being out in the sun and rain, heat and cold of Montana. So as long as they're, outdoor, heavy-duty rated zip ties, they're going to work just fine, and they're going to get super tight, and they're going to hold it on there well. One thing that I had to do to make this rack something that was going to work for me was I took pieces of an old inner tube from one of the kids' bikes, and I put it underneath. Let me see if I can find a place where there's enough light. Let me get out my EDC light here. Everyday carry EDC. For those of you that may not be hip to such lingo. Alright, so right there you can see, right, let's see, get my finger, right there. You can see the inner tube sticking out there. And what that inner tube does is it acts as a cushion or a buffer that's in between, and it keeps the basket from rattling. These older sportsman models kind of rattle and creak anyways, as it is the nature of the beast, so to speak. So anything that you can do to kind of quiet that down, generally speaking, is a positive in my opinion. But so other than that, you know, it's like 60 bucks, like I said, and it appears to be fairly well made. Now, a criticism that I saw, customer reviews for this product, is that it rusts easily. And I would have to say I absolutely agree with that. I mean, you can see right here where it's already rusting. And so I don't know if it's because it's a subpar paint that they're putting on here, or if it's because it is a subpar metal that's underneath it, and you know, the paint is breathing just enough that's allowing it to oxidize underneath. But like you can see on this bar right here where the water kind of pools, how bad that's rusted. And then this corner over here where we were looking at the inner tube, it definitely rusts. And so what I plan to do, I'll take a wire wheel and I'll hit the places where it's rusted, and then I'm going to take some camo paint and I'm going to camo it anyways, you know, so as the old saying goes, you know, no skin off my nose, so to speak. But before I do that, I'm going to hit it with a wire wheel, and then I'm going to hit it with some phosphoric acid or navel jelly. That's the active ingredient in navel jelly, phosphoric acid, and it changes the rust, it changes the composition of the rust to a paintable, primable surface. And I'm going to do that. And then these bolts here, I'll go to the hardware store and I'll get some stainless steel bolts to replace those, so I don't have to worry about the rust from this spreading to everything else and you know, making a bad situation worse. So that's my opinion of this Guide Gear front ATV basket. Like I said, I bought mine on Amazon for about 60 bucks, and I really like it. You know, if I paid 120 for it and it was rusting like that, I would not be happy. But for 60 bucks and, you know, a little bit of elbow grease and some paint on my part, you know, I can live with that. You know, frankly, if it only lasts me for 5 years at 60 bucks, well, I think that's a pretty good trade-off. For me personally, not that it is for you or it needs to be for you, but for me personally it is. Considering the price, including shipping, of $60 for what it is, thumbs up on my opinion. So there you go, guys. That's the Guide Gear front ATV basket. Thanks for joining me today, guys. I hope that you are having a blessed and wonderful day. Shalom.